This is the Homesteading for Beginners podcast, and I'm Mona Weathers, your homesteading mentor and coach. I'm here to encourage you to pursue your homesteading dreams with the right mindset in a way that is healthy for you, your family, and your community. If you desire to establish a solid foundation for your homesteading journey, then you are in the right place. Join me as I share stories from the past 20 years of my own journey, as well as practical and actionable steps you can take to start and maintain a healthy homestead. Today we're going to go over the Homesteading for Beginners workbook briefly. I'm going to share what's inside in case you want to get your hands on one. Right now, there are only 2 ways to get my workbook: through my private membership and also through the Off-Grid Homestead Bundle. If you happen to be hearing this episode before Sunday, September 25th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern, you still have a chance to purchase the bundle. So I highly recommend you go back and listen to the last 2 episodes of this podcast where I share about the bundle. But quickly, I will just say this. You know that time your friend got a killer deal on something that you would love to own, and she says, "Oh, you can go get that at Market Mart for only $2. And then you rush out and go get it ASAP before they're all gone. That's basically what this is. The killer deal you don't want to miss. This is it. It doesn't run out, but it does expire. 140 ebooks and courses for only $50, and it's incredible. One of the courses alone is worth more than $50, and there's several, so don't miss it if you can. If you're listening to this after the 25th, I'm sorry you missed it. The bundle will be back in 6 months. You can go to monaweathers.com to find the bundle. It's there and all the details. Okay, let's get started. The Homesteading for Beginners workbook was designed to get the new homesteaders on the right foot. I've divided it into 6 sections with an introduction about myself and the workbook at the beginning. The first section is, what is homesteading? And in this section, I briefly explain what homesteading is. The next section is getting into the why of your journey. Knowing why you want to start homesteading is really an important step. This is where we dive into the heart of your journey. This is the reason you'll continue on when things get rough. For my husband and I, our why was our children. We knew what we were doing was benefiting them, and quitting just didn't seem like an option when the health of our family was so strongly desired. So we just kept moving forward, and there were times that it got overwhelming, but I kept thinking about my youngest daughter who was, benefiting from the goat's milk and the fresh vegetables and all the things. I was really overwhelmed at times, but my why was just very, very strong. So it's really important to figure out why it is you're homesteading. And if your why isn't strong enough, it'll be hard to keep going when the days are really rough. Now, we've talked about dreaming in the checklist episodes, the Homesteading for Beginners checklist episodes, and how I feel it's very important to take time for dreaming. And this is also something that we get more in depth in the workbook, where we actually take time to dream about what we want our homesteads to look like. So I've given you a space in there even to go to like draw or write or whatever it is, get it down on paper. It's a step that I highly encourage people not to skip. I know there are people that do not love dreaming because either it just doesn't seem like it'll ever come true, or they just are not a visual person. Like, you might not be a visual person, but it's really important. This step is just so important because when we can see it in our mind's eye, it just becomes more real to us. In this section, I also have a a breakdown of 2 lists that I want you to make, which is hope to haves and must haves. I've created this workbook to help you decide what it is that you want your homestead to look like. So there's things in there that you're going to have to answer for yourself. As your coach and mentor, it is not my job to tell you how you want your homestead to be, how you want it to look like, how you want, what animals you want, what you want your homestead to be like. It is my job to help you decide what you want for yourself. So after we talk about the why, we need to talk about the when. If you are not yet on your own property or, the property that you desire, then how do we get you to that property? That requires some planning and a lot of thought. So the next section, section 3 of the workbook, is when to start your journey. Now, this is kind of a tricky thing because if you've listened to my past episodes, I talk about you starting your journey was whenever you decide to start your journey, like, your mindset. So the beginning of your journey has already started, in my opinion. But when I say it like this, I'm talking about like, when do you want to start the things that will really be what you want out of your homestead to look like? Like, do you want property? Do you want, a certain amount of animals and livestock? Like, when does that start? Let's think about when your journey should start. And then I take you through a series of questions to help you decide what are your roadblocks. What is keeping you from moving forward, if there is something keeping you from moving forward? And what are the things that can be improved in that situation? And how much control do you have over improving the situation you have now? So let's say you live in the city and you want to live in the country. I was just talking to somebody about this today. They live in the city and they want to live in the country. How do we get you from the city to the country? It's going to be a process. It's going to involve income, probably. It's going to involve planning. It's going to involve a lot. It could be discipline of not spending money so you can have a savings. It could be getting another job or whatever. I don't know what it is. Like, this is the part of coaching that it's not for me to tell you what to do and how to do it. It's for me to help you figure that out for yourself because everybody's situation is different. So we're going to take you through those questions though, and we're going to break it down so that it doesn't seem so overwhelming. Because I think when people don't pursue their dreams, it's because they think it's too overwhelming and it's not possible. And I'm here to tell you it is possible. So just plan and be strategic about how you want to go about pursuing your dreams. I actually have several obstacle focus sheets, a few obstacle focus sheets in the workbook. I want this to be something that when you view it, when you think about the obstacle, I want you to have the mindset that you're going to figure out whatever it takes to get rid of that obstacle. So that's why I have so much in here. And then, use your creativity, use your mind to think about ways that will help you get through these obstacles. In a couple of these sections, I have what's most important. And they're kind of like you list your hope to haves and your must haves. Now you can do this now too. You don't need this workbook to do this. Just think about what it is that you hope to have and what it is that you must have in your property that you want or your homesteading journey. And then write it down, as we talked about earlier in some of the other episodes about how important writing things down is. So just write it down. Take a sheet of paper, list your hope to haves and your must haves. Section 5, we talk about how to set yourself up for success. We go over pitfalls to avoid because I have 7 pitfalls listed, and they're, lack of planning, lack of savings, lack of income, taking on too much too quickly, not having a supportive community or mentor or coach, not believing you're capable, giving up instead of pressing on or pivoting. So these are all areas that you need to, and I have more details on that. But just remember, those are the 7 pitfalls, okay? 7 pitfalls to avoid. Set yourself up right. Then we're going to pinpoint the weak spots. Like, where are your weak spots? Are you terrible at planning? Are you terrible at saving? Are you just have not near enough income to have your dreams come true, your homesteading dreams? Do you lack community? Like, where are your pitfalls? So we go through, there's a checklist of things that we go through there as well. And then I give you some ways to find money for savings, because there's a lot of ways we actually can find money in our current situation. You can save money different ways by just shifting how you spend money, basically. And I give you some income ideas as well. I've also included some trackers for your monthly savings tracker and income tracker. You can get these things online too. If you just type in monthly savings or income trackers, you should be able to find it. Just keep track of what you're spending and how much income, and if you need to increase your income. And obviously a budget is a good idea. I do not have a budget in the workbook. That is something that's super personal, and people need to kind of figure that out. But I'm sure there's great budgets out there for you to follow. The last section of the workbook is the mindset section. And if you've heard me talk at all about anything, I talk a lot about mindset. And if you have the ability to have a forward-thinking mindset, there's pretty much nothing that can stop you. So my job is to help you have that mindset. And if you don't have it already, I'm going to teach you how to have a forward-thinking mindset, a positive mindset. And I'm going to probably stop you from having a negative mindset. I'm not a head in the clouds person. I do understand there's practical things, there's things that happen in life that keep us from pursuing things. But I also know that if we continue to have a mindset of a forward-thinking mindset and a mindset that is positive, it's much more productive. You get farther. You meet more people. And through other people, sometimes your dreams come true. I'll have to talk about that at another time. But it's very, very important to have a forward-thinking, positive mindset. Okay, that is all that I have to share about the workbook today. There's so much that we can get into. And the great part about this workbook is that in my SageSpot community, which is the platform that I'm using for the private membership, in that community, we will actually be going through this as a group. I have several people that are ready to be in this group, and we're going to all start at the same time. That won't always be the way it is, but with the founding members, I want us all to start at the same time. And we will go through each of the 6 sections together. The nice thing about the SageSpot community is that we'll be able to do lives kind of like Zoom, and we'll be able to talk with each other. It's not like one of those things where I'm speaking and you all are commenting and making emojis. You have the ability, just like Zoom, to come in and chat, but it's in the platform, so we don't have to do a separate Zoom live, so it's all together. So that is all that I have for today. As I mentioned earlier, the workbook is in the Off-Grid Homestead bundle. It's also, the other way you can get it is by joining my SageSpot membership, and then you'll get a free workbook. Also, a bonus to buying the bundle, if you get this before September 25th at 11:59 p.m., the bonus to purchasing, you will also get 1 month free subscription to my private community. So that is just added on. You just need to make sure that you message me after you purchase it, because I won't have your email address. So just message me either on Instagram or you can email me. I'll have all this information in the show notes. If you are enjoying this podcast, I would really appreciate it if you would take a minute to subscribe or follow. By doing this, you will be helping the podcast to be seen by more people, and I do love reading nice reviews too. Don't forget to visit healthyhomesteading.com for more information on how I can serve you. Until next week, I want you to keep dreaming, keep believing, and keep planning for your homesteading success.